My furthest back memory, I suppose, of the Towpath would have been fishing under Carrick, which is probably 4 miles above the town of Carrick and Shore with my father, as probably a 3 or 4 year old, and taken home, I think it was 9 pail. They're grills, they call them now. They were fish, salmon that came back in from the sea after spending 1 year at sea. Our family ties to the Towpath go back many hundreds of years. The stories that I would have heard would have come directly from my grandfather, who lived with us, Dan Callahan. Dan went blind when he was 56. He was a boatman all his life. He was one of the last to tow a boat between Carrick and Clonmel. We're aware that it was an artery of communication and commerce, the river and the Towpath.
It is absolutely divine to see the hills, the fields, the river, the shadows, the reflections in the water, and the sun is shining, and you're cycling along and you're saying, oh my God, I hope not too many find out about it.
Do you remember the swans coming up Bridge Street? All of their wings would be out, heaps of them. They used to march up Bridge Street, whatever it's part of their routine. It only happened once a year, I think, and they all marched up Bridge Street. I went on boating out with anyone that was available. I went everywhere on the boats and on the motorboat with Mullinses, and I used to go up and down the river, and God, I had a great time in the river. I lived in it. I absolutely lived in it.
First experience of the Towpath when we were young, we swam up the bank of the river. We used to swim up the Friars Rock. At 4 years of age, we were across the river from the Towpath with our mothers in the hilly field, and they let us all down to the river to swim. So we spent an awful lot of our time on the bank of the river. In latter years, you could say I cycled down the Towpath once a week at least. I go up the back road to Kilsheelan from Carrick, and I come back down then on the Towpath. And it's a lovely place to cycle because it's quiet, it's flat, and you'll always meet some people out to have a chat. And it's very relaxing.
It's like being in the mountains, like on a cloudy day, and then the clouds move back and you see a blue sky, and it just makes it all worthwhile. There was a lot of that too as you walk the Towpath, because I mean, if you take, say, from the animal point of view, I mean, the swans were regular, but then new arrivals began to appear, such as so there's all this, there's this colour, there's all this light, there's this movement, and when you're out there by the river, you're very much a part of that, and that's the attraction all the time. You could never be bored, I feel like, and the river is forever in conversation with you, like if you just listen.
It's wonderful to see the Towpath back in use today. We have a new surface put on it which can be arguably good or bad, time will tell in itself, but it's wonderful to see people using the Towpath, and it's coming back into being in a bigger way as a health and activity usage. As I say, the river it has run and will run when all of us are dead and gone, so we're only custodians, and if we could keep it and maintain it in some format, it would be wonderful. Well, that's really what the Towpath would mean to me.
Long, long ago when I was young, 'twas many a song my mother sang. 'Tis many a strain comes back to me, first heard and loved beside her knee. And one old song of all the rest, that stirred or soothed my infant breast, was sung to such a plaintive air, it set me weeping unaware. Yet, though the teardrops fell, I would not go to rest without the song in which she sang about the River Suir that runs so pure to Carrick from Clonmel.